At the barn for the 205th renewal, it's the Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Corey Provis. The Golden Gophers, Stephen, have dropped their last two games, and a big opportunity tonight for Richard Pitino and the Golden Gophers against Wisconsin.
Yeah, when you look at their resume, Corey, they need to handle business at home. Tournament teams usually take advantage of these opportunities. The Big Ten has those throughout the slate, but you've got to handle business at home. Wonderful opportunity for the Gophers tonight.
Yeah, Wisconsin's net ranking right at 30, so a quad one opportunity tonight for Minnesota. Look at the starting lineups for the Badgers. Brad Davison is back from his one-game suspension. More on that momentarily. Minnesota also getting a player back. Peyton Willis did not play against Illinois with a sore shoulder. He's back tonight, but Brad Davison, a lot of eyes, Stephen, on him tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. He's from this area. He got a warm welcome in,
yeah,
in the starting lineups. And so it'll be interesting to see if his energy can help the team. You know, they missed him in Michigan State, even though they were able to win. But he's such an electrifying player for this program. It's going to be interesting to see his contribution tonight.
All right, Gopher fans, from the first minute until the last minute, let's get the barn rocking!
205th all-time meeting. The Badgers have won the last four at the barn. Underway. Minnesota ball as we begin in the Twin Cities.
Let's see if the Gophers can get Daniel Oturu going early on the post. Looks like they're going to him now.
Gophers have dropped their last two games. They have really struggled from beyond the arc. As Marcus Carr will pull up. That's a three. And it's short. Oturu with the putback and in. Big Ten leader in rebounding, and Daniel Oturu showing why.
Nice job, Corey, by Oturu getting on the glass. That's one way to score the basketball if they can't get the ball to you on the post.
Aleem Ford coming off a great game against Michigan State, beats Alihan Demir and scores off the glass.
It's all confidence with Aleem Ford, Corey. He's had this ability to step up and play, and I think sometimes when you have situations on the team where you're a little short-handed, you're not going to the bench as quickly.
Here's Willis, he'll pull up for three. Good sign for Minnesota. Peyton Willis back in the lineup and knocks down the three at 33% three-point shooter.
Well, he takes a lot of pressure off Gabe Kalsher having to be the main outside threat for the Gophers, so it's a good start for Minnesota.
Hurt his left shoulder in practice before the Illinois game. It did not play. Minneapolis native Nate Reavers left it short. And Demir clears, and now Carr. This is where he's so good. Carr driving, floating, no. Oturu lost it. Demir got it back, and he gets the friendly roll.
Offensive glass has been kind to the Gophers to start the game. Wisconsin's got to clear that defensive glass because Oturu and Alihan will make you pay.
And Reavers stripped but fouled by Willis. Now there is Greg Gard, 5-1 all time. In these matchups against the Golden Gophers, 93 and 56 now in year 5 in Madison. Here's Ford. And that three goes, and that was his game early in his collegiate career, but it's not just that perimeter-based game anymore.
Well, he's 6'8", Corey. He's got some versatility, but again, it all starts with confidence with him. He can affect a lot of areas of the game, and Wisconsin needs him.
It's going to be a great matchup. These two guys did that in high school, and Oturu beats Reavers down low.
Well, I know that Wisconsin has a game plan in terms of guarding the post. But anybody that's not considering double teaming Oturu, you're putting your big on the island.
So Reavers starts. We'll see plenty of Micah Potter, most likely on Oturu. Reavers up top, and the three goes, and a great offensive start on both sides.
Isn't that good to see, Corey? Because sometimes February in Big Ten, teams are tight. They know what's on the line. They don't come out like this, but both teams feeling themselves on the offensive end.
And Reavers 15 points and a couple of threes against Michigan State over the weekend. And now Kalsher lost it. Willis lobs, and there's the double. And Tyler Wall leaves Willis open for three.
Well,
that's pick the poison, right?
Yes, that's going to make Minnesota awfully difficult. Oturu, great pass out of the double team. Hits Willis right in the shooting pocket.
And now Ford slipped. Alihan Demir all the way and a dunk. Aleem Ford going to relace the right sneaker. He slipped. Easy two for Demir. And the barn is rocking early. So Minnesota 6 of its first 8 from the field. 14-8 lead.
You see Wisconsin going to Brevin Pritzel early. Tyler Wall taking a seat. Greg Gard electing to get some experience on the floor.
And a late whistle but a foul. Oturu thought he had all ball. And Reavers kind of checking that right shoulder a little bit. Richard Pitino, the Golden Gophers, 8-2, make that 9-2 so far at home this year in tonight's game. Begins a stretch of 3 of the next 4 here at Williams Arena.
We talked about it in the open, how important it is securing home court.
And confusion if they're going to say it was the foul in the act of shooting or on the floor. And Reavers thought he should be at the free throw line shooting 2, and Greg Gard wondering the same thing. But they're going to say the foul occurred on the floor.
Definitely in the shooting.
That's a shot. I think Reavers should have been at the free throw line shooting 2, and now Ford against Demir, too strong. Oturu with the rebound.
You know what? Even despite that miss, I like Aleem Ford being this aggressive. Takes a lot of pressure off Demetric Trice and Brad Davison to provide offense early.
Trice hits the deck, and Oturu scores.
I like what Trice is trying to do there, Corey. Just didn't get the call. Thought he was in pretty good position defensively.
Reavers will try again and knocks down another 3.
Love to see rivalry games, don't we? In the Big Ten. It was interesting when they came out to start the game. Nobody shook hands. Nobody looked at each other. So you can tell there's a little bit something extra in this matchup.
Oturu with the miss, and Davison the rebound. Now Demetric Trice, averaging 10 points per game this season. Reavers will try again for 3. And that one doesn't go, and the rebound controlled by the Gophers.
I think Marcus Carr picks and chooses his spots. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive.
You were saying?
And I like his style, Corey. He wants his teammates to get involved, but sometimes you got to push the issue.
Those numbers for Marcus Carr, Big Ten home games, averaging 22 points a game. And outside of foul trouble, this guy's going to be on the floor pretty much the entire game. He's the Big Ten in minutes, averaging about 37 minutes per game.
And it's tough for him because sometimes he's got to pick and choose his spots, but where do you do that?
Great stroke there for Trice. Another 3 goes down for Wisconsin. That's the Badgers' 4th made 3 so far tonight.
Yeah, he's kept them close offensively. Not sure that's going to continue, but the way the shots that they're getting are high-quality looks.
This is how Wisconsin began against Michigan State at a blistering first half offensively. A floater from Carr, rattled out, and a whistle and a foul. And that'll be on Marcus Carr. So Minneapolis native Brad Davison is back in the lineup tonight. We'll talk about his suspension and more when we come back.
Carr into the paint shot, good, and a foul here. Pass ahead, Freeman! Oh, the dunk! Down to Kalsher, wide open 3, left side, ball time! Gabe Kalsher!
Great start early on here at the barn. 18-14 Minnesota on top. 14-20 to play here in the opening half. Welcome courtside, everybody. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Corey Probus, and Brad Davison. Certainly a huge storyline entering this game tonight. Stephen back after serving his one-game suspension, not just for the incident that occurred in Iowa in late January, for what the Big Ten ruled as a pattern of behavior. So with that being said, is there now a target on Brad Davison's back, not just this season, but for the remaining time during his collegiate career?
I definitely think so, Corey, but here's the deal. I'm not so concerned with that as much as do the opposite players of Davison take umbrage on him? Do they dole out punishment? And I don't see opposing Big Ten players trying to take cheap shots at Brad Davison. So me being the next player, and I'm seeing the behavior and body language of the opposing players, they see him as a tough competitor. And yes, he will have a target on his back with officials and everyone else. But in terms of players, they look at him as just another opponent.
Just to finish up that thought, too, I had a great chance to chat with Brad after the Wisconsin shoot-around today. And we had a pretty frank discussion for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it also focused on the fact if he has any regret, going back to not just Connor McCaffrey, but the Joey Hauser incident, the Marquette game a couple years ago, even the Jordan Murphy play that was controversial last year here as Isaiah Enan misses inside. He says, the only thing I regret is that I put my team in bad spots. The Hauser play, that came at a critical moment. Certainly the McCaffrey play, that came at a critical juncture. But as far as if that's going to change the way that he plays, the answer was an adamant no. He's not going to change the way that he plays based on what has transpired.
And I may not agree with that personally in terms of what's transpired, Corey, but I respect what he told you. I respect the fact that this is how I'm going to play, and he obviously brings a ton of positivity to this Wisconsin program. And
Greg Gard, in reference to the Connor McCaffrey play, he said, yes, a flagrant one was the right call, but he thought it should have ended there as Trice knocks down the 2. And that makes this a 2-point game. But he was surprised, as was the Wisconsin, coaching staff and the athletic department, that it didn't stop there. That there were still lingering, ideas and lingering results, and hence the one-game suspension.
And you know what that was about? That was about the brawl at Kansas and Kansas State. That's it. It was an overreaction, which college basketball does quite a bit when something like that happens. And there's nothing even close to that, but they try to overreact and rule in terms of trying to keep things down. We don't even see things like that in college basketball on a yearly basis.
It's certainly worth watching, and that's not just tonight, but also moving forward. Meanwhile, Peyton Willis back in the lineup, 8 quick points, and now Pritzel up top for 3. A really good three-point shooter, too strong, and here comes Marcus Carr.
One of the things, Corey, that I've always thought about playing here and calling games here, this is one of the best venues in the Big Ten to shoot outside jump shots. The basket stands out more in Williams Arena than almost any other venue in the Big Ten. This is a great place to play. It's an elevated floor. They darken the background a little bit so the baskets stand out really, really well. I'm telling you, as a player, there's not many places you want to play more than this.
Hence the good shooting numbers we've seen so far, per your point about how teams can shoot the ball well here.
It's an old school venue. It's not all lit up all over the place, and the court stands out more so than any other place in the venue.
It's freshman Tyler Wall against Isaiah Enan, and it's too strong, and Wall got his own rebound. Shot clock did not reset, it's at 5. Trice got 2 defenders up, there's some contact, and now a shot clock violation, but no foul. It'll be Minnesota ball when we come back. So 11:45 to go in the first half. Gophers on top. There's a look at the historic barn. Great venue for college basketball and a good game early on BTN.
Do you know what the U of M does for you? From farms to breweries and orchards to markets, discover how the University of Minnesota is cultivating a new crop of Minnesota businesses.
Do you know what the U of M does for you? From hooves to hands and paws to possibilities, discover how the University of Minnesota is making medical advances for all Minnesotans.
11:45 to go in the opening half. Minnesota 20, Wisconsin 16. The Badgers have won 4 straight games here at Williams Arena. The last time Wisconsin rattled off a 5-game winning streak against Minnesota back in the early 1900s. Go back to 1911 through 1916. Overall, they have won 9 of their last 10 here. A 4-point game early on. Peyton Willis, hot hand early, and that continues. Welcome back. Peyton Willis now 11 points, a game high.
Wow. I mean, defense was almost inside of his jersey. Not much better D you can play if you're Wisconsin, but offense wins almost every time.
Peyton Willis transferred from Vanderbilt, battled an ankle injury earlier in the year, missed the Illinois game with a shoulder injury. As Ford to Davison for three, and that rattled out. And here comes Carr.
In spite of the miss, Aline Ford's aggressiveness allowed Davison to get a clean look.
Davison hasn't scored. Enan playing more minutes lately, and that's why.
Enan's length is impressive. And that was a great look by Carr over the top. Talk about a 6'9" freshman who's starting to get his confidence up. Has really put on some weight during the season, which is hard to do, Corey.
Some time earlier in the season with a wrist injury. Isaiah Enan, the floater for Trice. No, but there's Reavers cleaning it up.
There's nice offensive flow so far by the Gophers. Nice balance of inside-out attack, hitting driving lanes and cleaning up the offensive glass.
Reavers with 8. There's Carr. So good at doing that.
Well, you can't tell from the television, but that's a well put together young man. And he gets his shoulder into you. He can create space, and he's strong enough to maintain his composure after contact.
Averaging 16 points per game, 7th in the Big Ten in scoring, and a whistle and a foul on Minnesota. Coming up, stick around for the Big Ten basketball postgame, fueled by Speedway, featuring press conferences, interviews, and expert analysis. That's coming up right after the game on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Foul was on Trey Williams, his first.
That's James Brown in studio with Dave Repson tonight, talking about Robbie Hummel. I'm going to start calling him James Brown. I don't know if he can sing, but he works about as hard as James Brown does.
Could he dance? Could he dance like James?
He could dance. Ask all the opposing players in the Big Ten.
Up and under, nice move from Reavers, but too strong, and there's contact and a foul, and this will be on Brevin Pritzel.
The reasons Daniel Oturu is one of the best players in this conference. He can really rebound in traffic. And unlike a lot of guys, he could go out of his own personal space to go track down rebounds like that.
Oturu so far tonight, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Minnesota by 9 with the ball. Kalsher getting around one, making 2 defenders and scores. And Wisconsin calls a timeout. Boy, the Gophers need number 22, don't they?
They do.
He's been in a prolonged shooting slump.
And they called his number that time, and he did a good thing. He did a jab step baseline and then came off a double screen and kept coming. See him curl tightly. Aline Ford cannot respond quickly enough. He gets a good runner off the glass. That's a really good call by the Minnesota staff to get him going.
Now, Peyton Willis so far back in the lineup tonight. He has been a hot hand for Minnesota. We saw that really from the opening possession.
Yeah, Tyler Wall was a little reluctant to close out him hard. That time just a little too late. And then once a scorer like that gets going, it doesn't take him much. Nice elevation from the free throw line. Peyton Willis feeling good after that rest.
Averaging 9 points per game, but already 11 for Peyton Willis on 4 of 4 from the field, including 3 made threes. He's on the bench right now, but the Gophers on top by 11.
Again, it takes a lot of pressure off Marcus Carr, Kalsher, Trey Williams, where they don't have to be quite as aggressive when Willis is able to stretch the floor like that.
Here's Davison. He'll drive on Kalsher, and a foul. And a foul on Kalsher. So Davison at the line, shooting 2. And there's Brad's parents, Jim and Corey Davison. And Jim on the left, he used to take Brad to games here as a kid all the time. They would sit about 8-9 rows behind the Golden Gopher bench. The Minneapolis suburb, Maple Grove, Brad Davison.
They got to be on pins and needles because, Corey, both of us are parents. You can only imagine the anguish that goes through their mind when their son is the brunt of some of this the boos. The boos are fine.
Yeah.
They've encountered some negativity as well, so that's a little unfortunate. But unfortunately, that's part of college basketball now.
Now, Brad told me he's not on Twitter, but his family, they see everything, the good and the bad, especially the bad. Here's Carr, stuffed by Reavers. As Wisconsin swings it around, now it's Reavers against Demir. Up and under along the baseline, spun out and out of bounds, and last touch by Wisconsin. Let's go back to the block here from Reavers, Stephen, a moment ago.
Look at Reavers right here. He's tracking Oturu. He watches the drive, at the last second commits. Great length and timing. Keeps the ball in play and goes the other way. That's a great block and timing by Reavers.
Sorry, Stephen. 133 blocks now for Nate Reavers. He is set to just smash Ethan Happ's school record of 154. As Marcus Carr is fouled. So Ethan Happ, the all-time record holder, block shots in Wisconsin history at 154, and Reavers right now is at 133.
Yeah, it tells you that he's quietly having a great career at Wisconsin, and he doesn't make a lot of facial expressions. He just kind of plays. He's tough, and that timing on the block shows you what he can do defensively with his great length.
Foul was on Davison, his first as Carr. He's a really good free throw shooter in Big Ten play, misses the front end. Reavers now comes out as Potter will take his spot. Greg Gard, he will play both Reavers and Potter at the same time, seeing that a little bit more. Wasn't really the plan, though, going in to have those two guys play simultaneously. It's an empty trip as Carr misses both.
You know what? I think Carr, we're February now, those minutes start to add up, Corey. I think, we talk about 18 to 22-year-olds. But when you're playing 34 minutes a game in the Big Ten, that can take its toll.
There's Potter with the left hand, left it short. And here comes Carr. Under 8 to play. Carr against Davison. Got a seal from Demir and missed.
You saw Carr hit Davison. Davison went flying backwards. Gives you an example of how strong that young man is.
Pixel the miss, long rebound. Teams have cooled off a little bit. Hard to keep up that blistering pace that we saw. Wisconsin for the game is shooting 33%. Minnesota still over 60%.
They're lighting it up. And again, they're attacking the rim. Challenging Wisconsin. Interior defense.
Little pass from Demir. Fortunate to get it back. Shot clock's at 5. Demir against Potter, high off the glass. No, Oturu trying to foul it up and in, but they're going to call a foul on Wisconsin on Tyler Wall. As Oturu got inside position, he's fouled by the freshman, and free throws for Oturu when we come back. Gophers up 29-20, 7:05 to go until halftime.
Out at home probably like the rest of you.
But I've learned a lot about wood floors.
Tonight we got batting cage challenge.
As you can see, the Monopoly board is set up with a lot of hotels.
I'm gonna make the pancakes. Grace is gonna make the eggs.
You two are going to love the cupcakes.
Just gonna check on the homeschool crew and make sure everything's going okay here.
Stay strong, parents. We're going to get this done.
All we can control is right now and try to maximize our days the best we can.
And I'm just so grateful for family, for friends, for loved ones, and the Big Ten.
Be a coach. Be a teammate.
Be a friend. Be a teacher.
Be a family.
We are a team.
We are a team. We are a family.
We got this.
We got this.
We can do this.
We can do this.
I'll get random texts at 10 o'clock at night, hey, coach, and I'm like, oh, goodness, what's going on? Is there something serious? How many points do you think Pete Maravich would average a game in today's NBA? I'm like, Dan, I have no idea.
Later tonight on an all-new journey, learn how Daniel Oturu's love of basketball and its history has accelerated his growth this amazing season. Don't miss an all-new journey fueled by Gatorade after the postgame on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
So you know where I'm going with this, Corey.
Go ahead. I know.
So Corey and I are at shoot-around today, Minnesota shoot-around. Daniel Oturu comes out of the locker room, and said, "Hey, Coach Pitino, what do you think Reggie Miller would do in today's game?" And I said, "Well, what do you think, big fella?" He said, "Oh, he'd just be okay."
Oh.
And then Coach Pitino says, "Well, he compared him to Klay Thompson." He's like, "Oh, no, he's not even close to Klay Thompson." So we have a recency bias going on. It's okay. It's all right. And Coach Pitino did the smart thing, just kind of let Daniel talk it out a little bit. But that's one of the great parts of our job, Corey, is that we get a chance to interact with these players and coaches and find out their personalities, and they are fun guys to be around.
So Wisconsin got off to that great start. They've really cooled off. Dimitri Trice, shot clock under 10, defended by Kalsher. Here's Anderson, got a step on Carr and missed the layup. Now Kalsher. Across the dribble, got it back. 1-on-1 with Pritzel. Left hand fell out. And Oturu saves it.
Like Kalsher lost his balance there. Point blank range.
Willis up top. Halfway down, but popped out. First missed three for Peyton Willis tonight, connected on his previous three. Potter, and the drought ends for Wisconsin.
Nice job by Micah Potter. Very good at the top of the key three-point shot when the defense sags. By the way, Reggie Miller would average 40 a game in today's NBA.
All the threes?
Come on, man. They used to actually play defense in the NBA when he played. They could grab, hold, everything. Reggie Miller would, I'm telling you, he'd average 40.
There's Willis with 5. He'll shoot over Potter. That's short, and Anderson with the rebound.
Michael Potter with some positive minutes on both sides of the floor here.
From Ohio State. Potter again, this one off the mark. And out of bounds, Minnesota ball. So Potter tonight has 3 points, only double figures once in the previous 5. As he comes out. Frustration had to wait until the end of the first semester to finally be deemed eligible to play. He'll have 1 year remaining with Wisconsin following the conclusion of the 1920 campaign.
And it was a decision that Wisconsin was not pleased with, but I think that young man will be stronger as a result.
As Carr drains the floater, Carr now with 6, and the lead is up to 10.
Well, Minnesota is attacking the paint with authority here tonight on the offensive end via post-ups, dribble penetration, also running banana cut curls into the lane with Kalsher, really putting a lot of pressure on the interior defense of the Badgers.
And getting balanced, too. After 33 points, 6 different Gophers have scored. Trice slipped. Here's Willis up the floor, bounce pass to Demir, stripped by Reavers, and a blocking foul is called on Davison. And that's the second on Brad Davison.
Minnesota caught a break there. When you give the big the ball in that situation, typically good things don't happen. I thought Davison was set. Maybe not. Maybe moving a little bit, but it could have gone either way.
So Brad Davison, 2 fouls. Has 2 points in 12 minutes as he comes out. And Tyler Wall back in. And Davison, he's had some good games against Minnesota. 3 career games. He's averaging roughly 12 points per game. That's his hometown team. Kalsher over Pritzel. And Trice the rebound.
Didn't like that shot by Kalsher. Oturu was battling to try to get position on that side of the floor. Wasn't much space there.
Reavers and got Oturu off his feet with the fake, and that's the second on the sophomore. It's a heady play there by Nate Reavers, and a part of his game you have to respect.
That's exactly right, Corey. He's hit some threes here early, so Oturu trying to close out on him. And the up fake is getting ready to go to the rim, so even though that was the second foul on Oturu, he may have saved a layup or a dunk.
So he comes out with 2 fouls. Omersa and Enan back in as Demir also departs.
Be interesting how Mercer plays Reavers, because you better believe Wisconsin's going to look to exploit that matchup.
Mercer played just only 2 minutes against Illinois. And here's Reavers with the right hand, and it rattles in.
He's going to go to Mercer. If they don't double team Reavers on the box, expect Wisconsin to go to that matchup for as long as Mercer's guarding him one-on-one.
Reavers now with 10. There's Badger into double figures. Isaiah Enan high-arcing three, and that spins over the top of the backboard. 15th three-point attempt for Enan. He's made 5 this year. We have an 8-point game on BTN. My academic ambitions focuses on senior Rochester, Minnesota native Michael Hurt, co-captain, earned his bachelor's degree in kinesiology in only 3 years and pursuing a master's right now in human resources and industrial relations. Michael Hurt, co-captain with Marcus Carr on his Golden Gopher team, wrapping up his collegiate career.
Well done, Michael Hurt. Handling business off and on the floor here in Minnesota. Always good to see guys taking advantage of these wonderful opportunities they have.
It's an important 3:30 here for the Badgers. You think Oturu on the bench with 2 fouls. Let's see if the Badgers go right back to Reavers down low. They do go down low. This is Pritzl spinning over Carr, too strong, and Carr the rebound.
Pritzl turned a 4-footer into an 8-footer with that fade.
Oh, hesitation from Carr. How pretty was that? High off the glass as he tumbles into a cameraman.
Yeah, he is so good at that change of direction. The floaters in the paint.
Carr with 8. Reavers left hand, left it short, put back too strong. Wall, and he's tied up right now with O'Mercer. Foul called on Minnesota. Let's go back to Marcus Carr a moment ago.
Well, Carr has a 5th gear. And right there, the hesitation that freezes Pritzl. That's a tough shot to make off glass, full speed. Well done by Marcus Carr.
Foul was on Peyton Willis, his first. So here is Tyler Wall at the line. 2 fouls on Willis, beg your pardon. As Wall misses the front end. Now coming up, it's our State Farm halftime report. Dave Revson, Robbie Hummel, as they break down the action from our studios in Chicago. It's the State Farm halftime report. This is game 2 of our doubleheader. How about Purdue? 104-68 over Iowa.
Corey, I've been associated with this conference for 3 decades. I've never seen a team that plays so well at home that struggles so mightily on the road. Talking about Purdue.
But the 36-point win for Purdue, the largest margin of victory against a ranked team in Purdue basketball history. Kalsher, catch and shoot, knocks down the 3.
Gabe Kalsher, such a serious young man. Good to see him show a little fun there with the air guitar after the string music.
Largest lead tonight for Minnesota. Now a foul on Kalsher as he was battling with Reavers.
Minnesota foul, 22, Gabe Kalsher, his 2nd personal foul.
That's his 2nd.
Looks like Kalsher here coming off a down screen, and there wasn't a Badger in sight. Takes advantage of it. His string music, baby. I see you. Looks like he may have got the worst exchange there on that foul with Reavers.
So 1-1 here for Reavers, 8th team foul on Minnesota. Reavers, a really good free throw shooter. And once you know it, he misses. Always seems to work out that way, right?
They can't hear us, Corey. I don't buy that, man. They can't hear us over here. I know what you're saying, though.
Carr lob. Oturu, wow! In the air, bumped and scored off the glass, and one chance for Daniel Oturu.
Go ahead and smile, big fella. Heck of a play. Takes the bump, concentration, eyes on the rim. Eyes never leave the rim, even though the contact is there. Off glass, Marcus Carr having a heck of a first half.
6 assists now for Carr, 2nd foul on Reavers. So 10 and 7 for Oturu as the free throw is spun out. Teams 2 of 5 at the foul line. A quick 7-0 burst here for the Gophers, who lead by 15.
I'm calling Reaver's number right now. Oturu back on the floor with 2 fouls.
It's Ford. Answers with a 3. Had he made that, Jarvis Omersa is at the scorer's table for Minnesota, so thinking maybe offense, defense, had Oturu made that foul shot.
I agree with you. And trying to preserve the big fella as much as they can. Got to be careful about being aggressive, even when he gets the rock.
Kalsher, right side, hit the deck, no whistle, but knocks down his second 3. Boy, Gabe Kalsher shooting only 22% from 3 in the Big Ten, has made 2 in this first half. Ford, no. Wall had position, and a foul called on Wall. Thought he got inside on Peyton Willis, but Wall is whistled for his second.
That's his second personal foul. The 7th Badger team foul. Gophers in the bonus.
Take a look at this. Kalsher wanted the foul, but he kicks his legs out. DJ Carsonson was telling them that he wasn't going to give him that call. And let's see.
I think Wall has position there, don't you?
It looked like he did. Like he had inside position. And I didn't see enough contact to warrant a foul, but the official did.
So Kalsher upset that a foul wasn't called on his shot, but as we saw in the replay, he extended his legs out. And no call there. And now Willis at the line. This is a 1-and-1. 17th foul on Wisconsin. Peyton Willis adding to his terrific first half. He has 12 points.
Richard Pitino may consider giving each of his players a game off. They come back shooting like this. I mean, he's catching everything in rhythm. No forced attempts. It's been very efficient.
Trey Williams will check in now for Minnesota as Peyton Willis comes out. A nice hand.
Well deserved.
Final minute of this first half. Reavers in the lane, and it rattles in.
Well, Reavers does that very well. A 2-foot jump stop runner by the big fella. Much needed bucket for the Badgers.
So 12 for Reavers as the Gophers call a timeout. Saturday on BTN, a great slate of Big Ten action. Tips off with Michigan State and Michigan on Fox. Later, it's a BTN doubleheader featuring Minnesota against Penn State and Iowa hosting Nebraska. Big Ten basketball Saturday on Fox, BTN, and the Fox Sports app. How well is Penn State playing right now? A huge win last night in East Lansing.
I tell you what, let's go back to last season with Penn State. 0-10 in the Big Ten Conference. And then they start to play very well, and that is carried over to this season. You go into East Lansing, I don't care if they're injured or what. The Spartans are very difficult to beat in Breslin Center, and Penn State did a great job of thwarting the runs that the Spartans try to put on them towards the end of the game.
See, Penn State 7-4. Iowa suffered its 5th conference loss, losing at Purdue tonight. Rutgers 7-5. A tight loss last night at Maryland. That was a great game.
Yes, it was. Tom Izzo said at the beginning of the Big Ten Conference slate that the Big Ten winner this year could quite possibly have 5 losses. I thought he was just trying to be nice. I should know. Tom Izzo knows what he's talking about.
Oturu checks back in. There's 2 fouls and 30 seconds to go. Under 10 to shoot for Carr. Oturu sets the screen. Demir got his defender up. That's a long 2, and it's short. And we'll play on. 15 seconds to go. Dimitri Trice.
I'd expect a high screen and roll possibly with Trice involved.
And Davison fouled. And the clock is still running. They're going to have to adjust that. They'll put some more time back on the clock. But Minnesota had no fouls to give. That's Kalsher's 3rd foul, and now Davison's going to go to the line and shoot free throws. Yeah, here's what we're talking about here. See, the foul was called with over 4 seconds to go, and then it stopped with 1.9. So it'll adjust that with over 4 seconds to go, and Davison at the line. Now shooting a 1-and-1.
And I know that Minnesota isn't particularly deep, Corey. And Coach Pitino likes to roll the dice a little bit when guys get 2 fouls in the first half. They come back on the floor. But I always say it, you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, and so Gabe Kalsher picks up his 3rd foul. And really, he gained no advantage in that scenario. He had Davison locked up defensively.
4.6 is what DJ Carstensen motions to us. Gabe Kalsher, 3 fouls. No chance he starts the second half, right? With 3 fouls now?
I think they will start it.
You think so?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I think they'll start him. He's too important on the defensive end.
Good point.
For Minnesota. To me, he may be the best perimeter defender in the Big Ten Conference.
1-and-1, Brad Davison. Badgers now 3 of 6 as a team at the line. 3 points now for Davison. Makes a pair. He will come out. Pritzl back in. Carr got it off in time. Up top, and it goes! Marcus Carr! It'll count. And that caps off a brilliant first half for Marcus Carr and the Golden Gophers.
Well, I thought the adjustment defensively by the Badgers was excellent. Having Reavers shadow him, he looked up at the clock. He knew he had plenty of time.
Oh, wait, maybe not.
Oh.
You know, watching it live, I thought he got it off in time, but I don't think so.
Like it. Doesn't look like it. I was about to give him credit.
No basket. No basket. Yep, watching it live, I thought he got it off, but clearly did not. And the half ends at 45-32. The most points Wisconsin has allowed in the first half all year, as the Gophers shoot 54% from the field, lead 45-32 at the break. Stay tuned. State Farm halftime report from Chicago is next.
Don't kid with COVID. mHealth Fairview wants you to know that what you do today will affect your family and our community tomorrow. Social distancing helps you avoid contact with those who may be infected with the virus. What can you do? Steer clear of crowds of 10 or more people. Keep a distance of 6 feet between you and others in public spaces. And if possible, work from home. Wash your hands, avoid big groups. Stay home, don't go out. We've all got to do our part.
Now, sometimes you take a look at some halftime shows, and some you don't think much about, then some you do, and this really was entertaining. The chainsaw was out, didn't take much time at all, and sure enough, a pretty good wood carving of Goldie Gopher. Very impressive. Auto Owners game leaders, Peyton Willis, 13, already a Big Ten high, and Nate Reavers, coming off a 15-point game, had 12 in the first half. Back courtside here, should be an exciting second half with Stephen Bardo. I'm Corey Provis, back to the wood carving. We'll be back for the Indiana game in a couple weeks. Already, early request, an identical Stephen Bardo.
Oh,
He's going to give that a try.
Yeah, he had to have a big, long head to get it done.
What are you going to look out for in the second half?
You know what? Wisconsin's got to limit the Gophers' inside scoring. The Gophers have 24 to 8 points in the paint advantage on Wisconsin, so they've got to slow them down there. And I think Gophers have been outstanding with their balance in terms of shooting, Corey. They've got 5 made threes on 18 made field goals. To me, that's a great balance of 3-point shots versus 2-point shots.
See, Peyton Willis, his career high is 18, had that earlier in the year against Central Michigan. 13 points. Richard Pitino and the Gophers a chance for a quad one victory tonight. Wisconsin's net ranking at 30 entering play tonight. Should be a great second half.
I thought Aleem Ford came out extremely aggressive in the first half. Wisconsin needs him to be the same this half.
Kalsher with those 3 fouls. You called it, will start, and does start the second half. Carr with the deflection. That's the 4th Wisconsin turnover. The Gophers only had 1 turnover in the first half. Oturu off the fake. And now it's out to Kalsher, right wing 3.
Boy, I know Coach Pitino wanted some inside-out action. It wasn't pretty, but they got the result they wanted.
That's Kalsher's 3rd made 3 tonight. 11 points. Here's Ford. Can he answer? That's way off. And Wall could not save it. And Carr. He'll look inside for Demir. Nothing there. Oturu. He'll try for 3.
That's next to not fair. So bouncy and long on the interior, and Oturu hitting 3s. Almost unstoppable.
Made 3s from Kalsher and Oturu. 19-point Minnesota lead. Largest lead the Gophers have had tonight. U.S. Cellular wants to know, is it fair to say Williams Arena is one of the most unique atmospheres in college basketball? What say you, Mr. Bardo?
Corey, I've called games in Cameron Indoor, Fog Allen, the Palestra, which was outstanding, and Hinkle Fieldhouse. And Williams Arena ranks right up there with all of them. One of the unique venues in all of college basketball. The elevated floor, the old smell of the barn, and of course the barn animals.
The barnyard, sure. This building opened up in 1928. And that's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Wisconsin. They'll stay with Minnesota. Speaking of the elevated floor, what Bo Ryan started continues with Greg Gard. Any first-year player, they end the shoot-around that day by rolling a ball off the floor. Now, Micah Potter's played her before with Ohio State, but still, first-year Badger had to do it again. And the entire team watches a nice moment that Wisconsin has done for years now for all first-year players as they end shoot-around on game day.
Hey, I think it's a great tradition. Bill Self used to do it at University of Illinois when he brought his teams up here.
That's the 3rd foul, and Oturu went for the steal, and he reached. That's number 3. So Oturu and Kalsher both with 3. And both are on the floor right now with 18:05 to go.
Well, Daniel Oturu's dejected with himself right there, as he should be. Pick up that foul that far away from the bucket.
Here's Trice. And Wall saves it. Second chance for Wisconsin. Davison, nice pass to a cutting Reavers. Better block by Oturu. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Gopher sophomore. 13 to shoot for Wisconsin.
That's an aggressive defensive play after picking up his 3rd foul, but watch the length and the timing. Beautiful block by Daniel Oturu. That could have easily been Minnesota's ball. Bang, bang play right there at the end.
Trice secretes, and he scores. That opened up for Dimitri Trice. 7 for the redshirt junior.
Trice is another guy I think waits a little bit too long, in my opinion, Corey, to get going offensively. I think he could press the issue a little bit more. Had a 30-point game against Milwaukee earlier this season. He's capable of putting up big numbers.
That's a foul. I believe they're going to get Reavers. The shove inside, and they will. And that's the second now on Nate Reavers. Getting back to your point on Dimitri Trice, something we haven't addressed yet. We talked about Davison earlier, but Greg Gard now still without Kobe King. Of course, he left the program. Whose role increases more? And how does the rotation, the minutes, productivity change now without Kobe King for Wisconsin?
Well, I think Aleem Ford is going to be the biggest beneficiary in terms of his playing time and the position that he plays. I'm not sure Davison and Trice necessarily have to elevate their game as much, but Aleem Ford has shown that he can do that. So I think he's the guy that's the biggest beneficiary of the minutes and the scoring opportunity.
And Tyler Wall, he's moved into the starting lineup in King's now departure. There's Carr. There's some contact play on as he scores off the glass. Marcus Carr having a great game. 10 points, 8 assists.
Just so strong. Can play bully basketball in the paint area against opposing guards.
There's a mismatch inside. Reavers has Kalsher. But it's Strice over Demir. That three doesn't go, and Carr with the rebound. Thought Wisconsin missed a chance to go down low.
Agreed.
Demir, he's going to challenge Reavers, and a foul. That's number 3. And there was some hard contact, and got the Gopher bench up, but a common foul on Reavers, his 3rd.
Alejandro Demir did the right thing. You put your body into your opposing defender. I think the crowd took exception to Reavers knocking the ball out of bounds after the foul call.
Not so much on the contact, but what happened after the fact. So it was just a common foul, but Reavers now with 3. There's Alejandro Demir at the line, shooting 2. As the first one goes. This weekend on BTN, it's an incredible lineup of Big Ten wrestling as Penn State battles Wisconsin and Minnesota. And top-ranked Iowa locks up with Michigan. Big Ten wrestling presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. This weekend on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Last Friday, the most watched wrestling meet in BTN history, as number 1 Iowa took down number 2 Penn State in thrilling, compelling action. Look for more of the same this weekend.
Didn't that matchup come down to the heavyweight division in the last match? Tell you what, wrestling and volleyball have been fantastic this year in the Big Ten Conference. You over here smiling, Corey. Why are you smiling?
Because you're right, because it came down to the final match. As Davison misses.
I only know that because I was in the green room Sunday.
Oh, okay. Demir around Pritzel at a block, and a foul call. They're going to wave it off. But Pritzel picks up the foul. And with that, we will step aside. So Minnesota led by 13 at the half. It's a 20-point game. Gophers by 20, 4 minutes gone by here in the second half. And we touched on this a moment ago, but certainly a tumultuous week for Wisconsin last week. Davison sat out. The game on Saturday, still Wisconsin beat Michigan State, but now Kobe King announced on January 29th he will leave the team. He still is in school, by the way, continuing to take classes, but no longer part of the basketball program. But then you look at the numbers on the floor, we're seeing it tonight. Wisconsin only 34 points, and the Badgers no longer have their second leading scorer.
Yeah, Kobe King in this situation would go and get you buckets. And Wisconsin doesn't have a lot of guys on their team that can go create their own shot. I think that's why lean forward has become much more aggressive. But Kobe King's absence definitely showing up here on the road without guys being able to go create and break a scoring drought.
Carr the miss and Wall the rebound. Davison with 4 points. Reavers out, 3 fouls, so it's Omersa against Potter. Potter low on the shoulder, all jarred free. Shot clock at 6. It'll be Davison for 3. Doesn't go. Tipped out and saved by the Gophers into Alejandro Demir. Nice play by Willis.
Agreed. And good defensive possession by Minnesota. I think Ford got a piece of that on the backside.
Tyler Wall sets up Pritzel for 3. The Badgers' rough shooting woes continue now, 6 of 18 from 3. And shooting around 30% for the game. And Troy Williams up and under short.
Troy Williams, a freshman. Got to understand in that scenario, there's going to be a lot of contact when he's trying to get that shot off. Got to have his base strong.
Nice find down low, the mismatch as Potter finds Wall.
That was a good find on behalf of the Badgers.
And Richard Bertino calls a timeout. Minnesota will have 2 remaining. Tyler Wall, freshman from nearby Lakeville, Minnesota, was a teammate in high school with Nate Reavers at Lakeville North.
It's good recognition by the Badgers here, Corey, because Marcus Carr tries to front the post. He thinks there's help on the backside. But Williams was late on the rotation, and Wisconsin takes advantage.
I mentioned that Tyler Wall, one of many in-state players that decided to go to Wisconsin. He's not alone. There were 3 in the starting lineup tonight with Wall, Reavers, and Davison. Edstrom and Rory, also from Minneapolis area. And this is not something new. This is something that Wisconsin has done now for years, getting high impactful talent from the Twin Cities.
Jordan Taylor, Bruzewitz.
Yeah, Jared Bergeron.
Bergeron, yeah, it's been a nice pipeline for the Badgers coming out of the Twin Cities, but why not? The Twin Cities in the last 10 years has put out as much college basketball talent per capita as anywhere in the country.
A couple more players coming in next year, and Ben Carlson from Woodbury, Minnesota. As Peyton Willis goes baseline, man, does he have a game. 15 points for Peyton Willis on 5 of 7 shooting.
And when you can do that, going to the short post area and fade away, and again, those are easy points for the Gophers.
Oturu now back in against Potter. Missed inside. Potter got his own rebound. The putback. Another miss. But the third chance is there.
Nice job of Potter staying with it. Oturu, cognizant of those 3 fouls, didn't want to be too aggressive in that situation.
Yeah, smart too. Don't sacrifice the 2 points, but don't pick up your 4th foul.
That's right.
There's a lot of time left in this game. Oturu answers. That's a part of his game that he just did not have last year.
It's nice recognition. And Corey, you mentioned that he and Marcus Carr play heavy minutes, so anytime he can avoid banging and also score the basketball on the fadeaway, that preserves his body.
15 points for Oturu. Second in the conference in scoring to Luka Garza. Wall lost his feet and turned it over. Willis with Isaiah Enan. Willis left it short. And now Wisconsin. They hurry, they'll have numbers. Bullet pass, Pritzl. Trice passed up a shot, while Pritzl passed up a shot. Now it's Ford over Kalsher. No chance.
Ford taking the easy way out, had 4-inch advantage that time. Put your shoulder down against Kalsher that has 3 fouls and put pressure on the defense. You bail him out with a fadeaway in that scenario. Minnesota wisely taking the time. It gives Marcus Carr a chance to catch his breath a little bit.
Well, and 4 Gophers in double figures. The lob, Oturu, that was off. And the Gophers turn it over. Trice trailing, catching, pops for 3. And Willis, the rebound, 1 and done for the Badgers. Enan will try again for 3. That's the second attempt. He's missed 2. Rebound knocked around and saved by Oturu. Into the hands of Enan. And Carr, contact and a foul. And they're going to get Demetric Trice with the foul. That'll take us to a timeout here at the Barn.
Tell you what, Peyton Willis has played his caboose off tonight. Nice job on the follow-through away from the defense. Gophers rolling.
The 205th all-time meeting, border battle, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Gophers with 4 players in double figures, lead by 20. That was Demetric Trice before we went to break. As Minnesota will have the ball with 11:54 to go.
They're trying to get Oturu down in the box.
And Enan walked.
Enan had a chance to get down to Oturu, but just couldn't make the post feed.
I think 205 is impressive. How about men's hockey? They just resumed that series not too long ago. 294, football 129, hockey, women's hockey 104, wrestling 101. So much history spanning so many different generations, which makes this so great year in, year out.
It's got to be one of the most frequented rivalries in college sports, in my opinion. I guess maybe in Ivy League or something with schools that are established a little bit earlier, but not many.
And Davison traveled. And the Barnyard is enjoying that call. It's the 6th Wisconsin turnover. Richard Pitino, 2-9 lifetime against Wisconsin.
Let's see if they can get the ball this time inside the Oturu. They've tried the last couple times, but college basketball has lost the ability to make a post feed.
Good defense there from Potter.
Potter's got the size to bother Oturu on that spin.
And Now Reavers back on the floor, 3 fouls. Oturu 3 fouls. Reavers up and under and scores.
Nice job by Nate Reavers getting to his sweet spot off the spin.
It's 14 points now for Reavers as Chris Beaver sees something on the floor that I'm going to take care of. That's done. Well, we mentioned hockey a moment ago. Friday on BTN, catch the excitement of Big Ten hockey when the Badgers and Wolverines collide in Ann Arbor. The puck drops Friday at 6 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
You notice I'm going to let that one go.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of hockey knowledge, but I'll brush up.
Well, you haven't been in the green room yet for hockey coverage, but that'll change.
Yes, it will. Rick Pizzo does an outstanding job. Hockey coverage. I do know that.
Shot clock is under 10. Ending the outside here for Minnesota on this trip down the floor. Now Oturu will put it up and no rim. And Potter, another rebound. Potter's had some good sequences here defensively. Wisconsin trying to get back in it with the ball. Midway through the second half, down 18. Reavers against Isaiah Enan maintains his footwork. And a missed shot. And here comes Carr.
Well, Enan is long, isn't he?
Carr is fouled. He goes from first to fifth. Steps back on the break, turn it back. And Marcus Carr will shoot 2. Foul on Potter's first, Stephen.
Carr does a good job of adding that moon to that sun, meaning a lot of guys in his position, they want to go full speed all the time. He changes speeds and directions very, very well.
You can't help but think as Marcus Carr bears the first free throw, and the Gophers were optimistic entering last year that Carr would have been deemed eligible to play. After transferring from Pitt, but that decision came late, had to sit out. And with that, Amir Coffey was playing point, right? And you wonder if Marcus Carr was eligible, how different. And Minnesota won 22 games, won the tournament, but how different that team would have looked last year with Murphy and McBrayer, but not just Coffey, but Coffey not playing the point.
I totally agree. It would have been a much different look, and Carr would not have been required to score as much. He wouldn't be playing as many minutes, I don't think, but boy, it would make them much more dynamic.
Nice take there and shot for Dimitri Trice. He knocks down his second 3. He has 10.
Nice job by Trice. When he goes right, a lot of players in this situation, right-handed jump shooters, when they go left, they go for a pull-up jumper. If they go right, they're trying to get to the rim. He seems to be the exact opposite. One of the things that makes him hard at guard.
Kalsher the miss, and Trice the long rebound. Trice will curl, pop again, and that 3 is short. And Kalsher the rebound. Wisconsin now 7 of 21 from 3.
So I made a comment early at the break. But Minnesota had a nice balance. Less than a third of their shots came from three-point land.
A step and a strip and a foul. You could see that coming, that Oturu just had a small crease and then took advantage getting around Potter. And Potter picks up his second, and free throws upcoming for Daniel Oturu.
I think Oturu had bad intentions on the rim here. That look on his face like he was going to do some harm to that rim. Pretty good foul by Potter.
As Oturu knocks down the first, now 16 points. Go back to your thoughts entering the year. If I would have told you, say at Big Ten Media Day, that come early February, the top 2 scorers in the Big Ten would be Luka Garza and Daniel Oturu, what would you have told me?
Yeah, I don't know if I would agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, you could see Garza coming at the end of last year. No one knew how hard he worked over the summer. Talking about Garza. And this young man right here, I think Daniel Oturu has just gotten a lot stronger and much more confident. He's put in the work in the offseason as well, and it shows. But yeah, I wouldn't have picked those 2 to be the leading scorers, Corey. So that just shows you it's an unusual year in the Big Ten with the big men reigning supreme.
Reavers short. Pritzl had position. Putback is no good. But Wisconsin's missed quite a few right at the rim tonight. Willis, can he add to it? Yes. Peyton Willis matches his Gopher career high with 18 points.
Catch, slide to the left away from the defense. Takes pressure off Gabe Kalsher, makes the Gophers a much different ball club.
Aleem Ford for three. No. And Willis saves in the corner.
Coach Pitino instructing Carr to pull it out. Run a little bit of clock here, get into a set call.
During this two-game losing streak, the Gophers from beyond the arc were 8 of 47, 17%. Tonight they're 500, 8 of 16, and now a foul called on Oturu, and that's going to be his fourth. And that'll take us to a timeout with 7:24 to play in the game.
Well, Peyton Willis, silky smooth from Fayetteville, Arkansas, going left and feeling good about his game tonight.
Final 7:24 from Williams Arena. Gophers lead 65-43. Peyton Willis tonight has had a remarkable game. 18 points. That ties his career high at an 18-point game against Central Michigan earlier in the year, also including his time at Vanderbilt. 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. The Gophers, they know they're going to get scoring right for the most part from Oturu and Carr, but now getting a big lift from Willis tonight, Steve.
Yeah, it's big. And, you know, again, he's been efficient. So he hasn't been a volume shooter. He's been an efficient scorer. He's also got 5 rebounds, which is really good from the wing position. So all that adds up to take a lot of pressure off of the big two for the Gophers.
Oturu picked up his 4th foul. He comes out, Omersa back on the floor. Slip to Reavers, that was read by Omersa.
Nice job defensively. Those bigs like Reavers like to feel their defenders, but Omersa a little bit shorter, but a lot quicker. Nice job on the steal.
7th Wisconsin turnover. The Gophers have only 4 turnovers tonight. Far off the Omersa screen. And Demir saved in the backcourt, but still an over and back. Violation will give it to Wisconsin.
Rare miscue by Carr. Got in the paint, got deep on the penetration, and tried to pivot back.
Kind of looking at Peyton Willis, wondering, where were you going? Where was I going?
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see guards that have turnovers like that. It's just like, go ahead and swallow the turnover and keep it moving. You know, one thing we haven't talked about a lot, but the Gophers have done an excellent job of scouting the Badgers' offense. They've really put themselves in good position defensively. And some of the advantages that Wisconsin enjoyed against Michigan State, they're not finding that here tonight.
3rd foul on the Gophers, first on Omersa. Now, Xavier Tillman, such a good player. You go back to that Wisconsin-Michigan State game. Well, Tillman, he missed so many shots around the rim in that game. Open lane, Aleem Ford, and he's fouled by Omersa.
Foul on Omersa, his second.
So quickly 2 fouls on Omersa and 2 free throws upcoming for Aleem Ford.
Ford doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Get to the rim, try to make something happen. Omersa comes up with the foul, but nice aggressive move by Ford.
Aleem Ford, interesting story. Redshirt junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Wasn't really on Wisconsin's recruiting radar. As the first one rattles in, but Greg Gard, the coaching staff, went down to the IMG Academy to look at Dimitri Trice. He was very much on their radar, and they saw Trice. They always liked him, and then they saw Aleem Ford in that same open practice and said, this guy could fill a role, and hence Aleem Ford is now a Badger, but he wasn't really on their radar from the get-go.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens, isn't it? Uh-oh, Mercer looked like he banged his ankle a little bit. But that's young viewers, young players that are watching this game. You are always being evaluated, whether you realize it or not.
Carr wanted a whistle, misses the shot. And Trice and the Badgers under 6 to play. Reavers up top for 3. Spun out. Offensive putback is good for Ford.
Good job by Aleem Ford. Getting good position on that offensive putback. Gophers, obviously, they need some kills. What do I mean by that, Corey? 3 defensive stops in a row, but they've got to convert on the offensive end when they do get those defensive stops.
Ford now with 11. Kalsher a step on Fritzl, missed the runner, and the rebound to Trice. It's Fritzl, open look, he'll fire for 3, off the mark, tipped up, oh, and a lot of hard contact. As Reavers hit the deck, boxed out by Carr, and a foul called on Wisconsin.
Glad Nate Reavers didn't hurt himself. That's a scary moment for a player when you're off the floor like this. You don't know how you're going to land. Glad that he and Marcus Carr were both okay in that exchange.
Reavers picks up his 4, so Reavers 4, Oturu 4. And now 1-1 upcoming for the Gophers. 17 fouls on the Badgers. It's going to be Marcus Carr at the line. Is 2 of 5 tonight. Guy that began the year shooting at the free throw line, he was in like the 50s in terms of percentage. As he missed the front end, tipped back out of the Gophers' control. But in Big Ten play, Marcus Carr, he's been over 70%.
Well, I think he understands that he's going to get a lot of opportunity. There's a small margin of error for victory in all of these Big Ten games, so really got to be consistent from the line to be successful.
Kalsher the miss and Ford the rebound. Number 5 to play. Trice, that's for 3. Off the back iron, over the backboard, and it'll be Minnesota ball. Now, later tonight on BTN, The Big Show delivers highlights, post-game interviews, expert analysis, plus all the news and notes from around the conference. Don't miss The Big Show, presented by CDW tonight at midnight Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
So who's going to be on The Big Show tonight? If I could sing, I'd say it's a man's world.
What do you mean you can't sing? That was great.
No, I can't sing.
Alihan Demir. Minnesota's gone cold. They were over 50% from 3 pretty much all night long.
Oh, nice screen by Micah Potter.
And Omersa colliding with Trice, and Omersa picks up his 3rd foul. And the 5th on the Gophers.
Boy, Micah Potter sets up, isn't moving, stays solid. Oh, and I think Carr sold it a little bit. But that's a good screen by Micah Potter in that kind of secondary fast break situation. Those type of opportunities can get you easy buckets, and that's exactly what Wisconsin needs.
Trice kind of forced that one.
And that time, Trice has done it twice in the second half. He'll shoot a set shot almost, Corey. And so he's shooting 2 different jump shots. And so I'm sure he's probably had success in that in the past, but you're shooting 2 different shots.
Gophers, I should say the Badgers in the second half of this game, 3-point shot, just 1 of 13 this half. 3:51 to go. Gophers at home lead 65-46 on BTN. All right, Dave and Robbie, thank you. 3:51 to go, 65-46. The Gophers with 11 wins, 5 in conference play. As you look at the tournament resume for Minnesota, still some important games left, but another Big Ten record, net ranking of 45, and 3 quad 1 victories. And number 4 is there tonight as Wisconsin's net ranking with really some help from Penn State. Now, Penn State winning at Michigan State last night, and Wisconsin's win at Penn State earlier in the year, that looks better and better by the day, and hence Wisconsin's net ranking dropped, I think, from 32 to 30. That's the cutoff for a home team, 1 to 30. As Kalsher with the miss, this would be a quad 1 victory for Minnesota tonight.
This would be a big one. And they didn't need a whole lot of motivation with this border war situation between these two, but when you look at the schedule, Minnesota still has a lot of opportunities for some very good competition. Got Indiana twice, got the Badgers again.
Yeah.
Maryland at home, Iowa here as well, and at Penn State. So Minnesota has plenty of opportunities to boost their resume.
See, Wisconsin, they have been really good in terms of not just quad 1 games, but quad 1 wins with 6 to lead the Big Ten, as Alihan Demir is fouled by Tyler Wall. Mike DeCourcy looking at his most recent tournament projections. He has 10 Big Ten teams in March Madness, Wisconsin is in. Minnesota, as of right now, out. Minnesota, Purdue, Northwestern, Nebraska, the 4 that are not in Mike DeCourcy's most recent projections. But again, subject to change day by day.
Oh, I think so.
And look at that. I mean, at Penn State on Saturday, that place is going to be rocking. Penn State's been playing so well. By the way, the Penn State-Minnesota game here not too long ago, that was chippy. Yes. That was at the end of the game. Lamar Stevens and Daniel Oturu, they were jawing at each other all night long. That should be awesome on Saturday, and what will be a packed house at the Bryce Jordan Center this weekend. And
it's a good thing. I want to challenge Penn State fans. Don't take this for granted. This is a long time building with Pat Chambers and this program. Go ahead and support them while you can.
Potter scores down low. I saw Penn State last weekend winning big at Nebraska and asking them about the next home game. They said, yeah, we're expecting a really big crowd for the Golden Gopher game this weekend.
They had some people at 1:30 in the morning meet them at the Bryce Jordan when they came back from their victory at Michigan State. So the buzz is palpable in Happy Valley.
Kalsher left it short, but reflection, and Kalsher reloads from the corner for 3. Knocked out of bounds, and last touch by the Gophers with 2:12 to go in a 17-point game. So Daniel Oturu tonight, 17 points, 14 rebounds. So who would take over after the double-double machine? Jordan Murphy graduated. Well, the guy that he learned from a lot last year has done just that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that will go down as the best rebound in Big Ten history. And at 6'6", and that's generous.
Pritzel up top, deep 3. That rattles out. And Potter down low, another chance for the Badgers. Challenged and blocked, but a foul. And that's going to be number 5 on Oturu. So he is done with a 1:48 to go.
Boy,
17-point game.
He just couldn't lay off of it, Corey, could he? Saw an opportunity for another block. Went after it aggressively. Doesn't appear that it's going to hurt the Gophers.
Let's enjoy this walk-off. One of the best players in the country.
When we talk about Luka Garza and his motor, this young man's got quite a motor himself. I mean, the consistency and the numbers that he puts up night in, night out. And he is the #1 player that teams game plan against, and yet he's still successful.
And learn more about Daniel on the journey coming up, fueled by Gatorade tonight. And something that Daniel, not just mentioning the past in basketball, but also the present and the peers that he studies. You mentioned Luka Garza. He really watches Luka Garza, how he posts an entire possession. That caught his eye. Stick Smith, so talented, but not just a low post player, but has that great perimeter game. And Daniel Oturu's added that to his game this season. So he studies not just past players, but his peers, guys he competes with during Big Ten play. And that's just part of his personality, part of his makeup that makes him such an appealing young man.
And I tell you what, Corey, because a lot of his peers don't do the same. That sounds crazy, but he's a student of the game. And, you know, I think that he could be an example for his teammates to do, you know, study and look at different guys and put it into his style of play. You see the relentlessness on the offensive glass, then the nice spin. Nice kick out right in the shooting pocket for Willis on the 3. Oturu just really touching every aspect of the game.
Fouled out, 17 points, 14 rebounds. And the Gophers lead by 15 with 1:48 to play.
And the real question with Purdue tonight, with emphatic win at home, and Minnesota, which they can hold on, looks like it's going to be a double-digit victory here at home. Can they bottle this up and take some of this on the road? I think one of the reasons why it's so difficult on the road, Corey, Big Ten, I believe the last 46 years consecutively has led the nation in attendance. So to go into these venues, these are tough venues to come out with a victory.
Game clock at 1:23, shot clock at 4. Carr will pull up for 3. And that's knocked out, and last touch by the Badgers and Potter. Shot clock at 20 for the Gophers, a minute 17 to go. Peyton Willis sitting on 18 points, matching a career high. The new career best. 21 points on 5 threes for Peyton Willis.
That was a set play for him. Teammates were patient, allowing him to come off that screen and get some air space.
.45 seconds to go. Gophers hitting 9 threes. Defensively, limiting Wisconsin to just 52 points. As Carr is stripped, and it'll stay with the Gophers in 5 to shoot.
Checking in for Wisconsin, number 3, Walt McGrory.
By the way, Carr 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. As Walt McGrory checks in for the Badgers, Trice will come out. Peyton Willis coming out, gets a nice hand, but Michael Thompson, the last Golden Gopher, with a triple-double, and Carr needs 1 more rebound. Now, is there a coach that's tracking that, an assistant coach that is aware of that? Say, hey,
I think
he needs
so.
one more rebound.
Because Greenlee was getting ready to come in the game. He comes in the game for Marcus Carr, so I think they're cognizant of that.
Kalsher pulls up. No. And the rebound to Anderson. A cool moment for the junior McGrory to check in for the Badgers from Edina High School. Suburb here of Minneapolis. Final 5 seconds. Potter, no. Kalsher the rebound, and that'll do it. A convincing victory for the Golden Gophers. They snap a 2-game losing streak, knocking off the Badgers 70 to 52. Big win for Richard Pitino and the Gophers, now 12-10, 6-6 in league play. The Badgers now 13-10, 6-6 in league play. That'll do it from Minneapolis, where again the final score, Gophers 70 and the Badgers 52. Stay tuned, the Big Ten basketball postgame show is coming up. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network. For Stephen Bardo and our entire crew, Corey Provis saying so long and good night from the barn. Let's head to Chicago once again. Here's Dave Repson.
Thank you.